Hello everybody, welcome to the weekly bump. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We have 4 piles today, 1, 2, 3, and 4 with an amethyst, labradorite, clear quartz, and a smoky quartz. So feel free to take a moment, take a breath, feel connected to one of the 4 piles, or if you are feeling drawn to multiple piles, you are free to pick more than one. And if you have a question that you feel you might need to be answered, you are also welcome to ask. Pause the video if you need to. Take your time. I know that the energy right now in the world is bonkers, especially if you're here in the United States. It's been a very tumultuous week. And I debated whether or not to even do this video. I debated whether or not this was even appropriate, but I'm going to do it anyway, with a little reserve, but ultimately here to bring hopefully positive messages to the forefront. So here we are, okay? So I'll see you in just a sec. Thanks. Okay, pile number 1, you guys selected the amethyst. Let's go ahead and see what these cards have to say. 10 of Cups, Queen of Cups, beautiful. 6 of Coins, Knight of Coins, and the 3 of Swords. Interesting, the stark contrast between the 3 of Swords and the 10 of Cups here. I don't know, you guys seem to be working some pretty impressive magic right now. I don't know if you are feeling compelled to, send healing energy, or if you're feeling, called to offer something to the world right now, but I honestly think that's certainly something that's needed, and that this week you may feel more and more drawn as Mars approaches Neptune, getting closer and closer to the eclipse. This is something that is quite beneficial. I think you have a lot of value here, and to be of service, as we see with the Knight of Coins here. Now, this could be something in your own life as well. It doesn't have to be like because of the worldly stuff, but, you seem to be on an active path, combining the mundane with the magic, as we see with the Queen of Cups here. I love the image of this Queen of Cups and how she's just kind of surrounded by, the water and the energy field, and she's just completely and totally in her zone. And she's highly effective in doing whatever it is she's actively doing. And then the Knight of Coins is, of course, very service-oriented energy. We have kind of the energy of Cancer and the energy of Virgo coming through, indicating a motherly, maternal, nurturing energy along with that act of service and good health in general. So it's like what you give is what you get. What you give is what you get. And to really understand this reciprocity of the energy that is, put out is the energy that you will get in. You seem to have a very pure heart, and I think you're feeling a lot of things right now. I think you're feeling not only your own emotions, but it's very likely that you're picking up on, the emotions of those around you, your community, your friends, your coworkers, all that kind of stuff. So it's important to stay cleansed. It's important to be as pure as possible. I highly recommend things like salt baths and sage or frankincense, burning oils, really things to just make sure that your environment is as purified as possible. I would also highly recommend getting off of social media and things like that, because that can really perpetuate the 3 of Swords energy a lot of times. And especially in a time when you have such amazing power to do wonderful things, 10 of Cups. When it comes to your own goals and your own ambitions, I think you are perfectly matching your metaphysical with the physical, right? You're doing the things, you're doing the steps, and you are keeping this vibration going, which is ultimately what is going to manifest into change or some kind of evolution in your life. I think the 10 of Cups is the best place to really focus your energy right now. I think the feelings of joy and gratitude and abundance, as we know, right, whether we like it or not, no matter how hard it is or not, sometimes like the law of attraction, it's always going to work. So the choice is really yours. Are you going to focus here, or are you going to focus here? Are you going to choose gratitude? Are you going to choose abundance? Are you going to choose to look at the things in your life that mean something or that are important and good? Or are you going to choose to look at the things that are painful? I'm not saying to avoid the pain. They are two sides of the same coin. But when your energy is so on point, when your energy is so on fire, and there's this reciprocity going on here with the give and take of the Six of Coins, we have to understand, how it really works. We don't want to manifest more of this, more pain, more heartache, more anger, whatever it is. We don't want to manifest more of that. So let's manifest togetherness, let's manifest unity and love, okay? Again, this could also be within your own family. This could be you within yourself, if you're dealing with a heartbreak or a breakup or any kind of disappointment that you've recently gone through. And so there's a much, much bigger picture to what's going on, and you want to make sure that your energy is focused in the right direction for the best amount of progress, because this kind of energy moves forward very quickly because it's so high vibrational. It's not very dense and heavy and thick the way that this kind of energy is. So when we're focused here, creativity flows, the words flow, your ability to articulate the way you feel, they flow. Your ability to move and change and evolve comes more easily because it's higher vibration, okay? So this is where the focus is more beneficial for you to be. Even though you're still feeling and experiencing this or going through some kind of a painful event in your life, it's to be used as fuel, if you will. To be used as fuel for the Ten of Cups, for the good, if you will, okay? We have the third eye chakra and the solar plexus chakra. Okay, so the fact that we're coming out with chakra system cards does indicate to me, especially we have Amethyst here, which is also deeply connected with the third eye, that this is about energy. Where you dedicate your energy. We have the energy source of empowerment and courage, and we have the energy source of, the all-knowing, that third eye. We have belief and imagination coming through with this chakra as well. And when you have these things working together to your benefit and for the benefit of everyone else involved, because clearly there's a family here, so however that means to you, whether it's your actual family or your close friends or your circle or your community, your energy does need to be, because it's effective right now, let's just say it, like there's a resonance. You have an impact. You walk into a room, people feel it. You say something, people hear it. And when you use it for the good and for, small and consistent changes, there's no reason to dwell here. This is used as fuel to encourage the empowerment. This is used as fuel to power the courage. This is used as fuel to open your mind to receive new information from, behind the veil, from your guides, from the Akashic records, if you will. Finding solutions, finding new ideas, new ways of going about doing things. Okay. Now we have whale, which is breach. To break something. To break through a pattern. To break through a wall. There's definitely a breakthrough happening for you guys this week. Clearly, you're going to be highly impacted by the effects of the astrological placements. And of course, the Gemini energy is going to, keep your mind very active. It's going to keep your mind very open. You are going to make there is going to be some kind of a breakthrough for you guys, whether it's this week or as we build up to the eclipse. I'm kind of even seeing like a very tower, for those of you who are familiar with the tarot, right? This is a very tower-like energy to breach something, to break through, for the sake of change, to be able to breathe, right? And there does seem to be an element of freedom that's coming through there. So where there maybe once was bondage, now we are making our way toward freedom. So I think ultimately this is it was an important thing, whatever this is. It was important because it's fueling you in other ways. And receiving. Yes, absolutely receiving with the Queen of Cups. You are receiving divine guidance. You are receiving divine messages, but for the sake of putting it into action. It's not enough to just be in this, meditative state. We have to remember that we are both spiritual and physical beings, and they need to work together. They are two sides of the same coin. So this needs to turn around, right? Reciprocity and balance needs to turn around immediately and get put to good use, whatever that means for you. Get your checklists done, get your house in order, get your finances in order, get your things structured in a way that will ultimately be beneficial for you in the longer run. But you're likely going to need to face something, maybe some inconvenient truth, right, in order to really do that. Let me make sure. Okay. I want to make sure nothing's getting cut off here. Okay, for the moon cards, we have the snow moon, which is a card of purity, and the waxing crescent, which is nourishment. Okay, so what did I say about, I think I even used that word, purity. Keep your energy pure, keep your energy as pristine as you can, unadulterated, because of how powerful it is, right? Because of how prominent it's coming through in this reading here. I'm seeing such bounty coming through here, and we see that with the Ten of Cups, with the Knight of Coins. There's growth, abundance, nourishment. There's good health. And with the nurturing quality, I'm almost kind of even getting like a Mother Earth kind of quality. So I think I may have even said this to someone last week in one of the readings last week as well, was, if you have a garden, now would be an excellent time. Or if you are a caretaker in any way, whether it's caring for a child, caring for a parent, a pet, a garden, that's where your energy is honestly best spent. The things that need your nourishment, because you have such this amazing power right now. Anything that you can nourish, even if you even have a business, right? Nourish that, put the energy to good use, put the energy into something productive that will ultimately bear fruit for you and your friends and family. We have between worlds, new direction. Interesting how we have this very, like I say, that stark contrast between the Three of Swords and the Ten of Cups. They're so different from one another. And you might, again, break through, breach, to really breach that barrier. Ultimately having that capacity to swim with a turtle, right? To swim, to catch that current. You're definitely picking up some kind of a current, and I think that's Neptunian in nature, right? What happens when Neptune comes out to play is, yes, okay, we can go through the negative list of stuff, but ultimately Neptune is the planet of, Christ consciousness, of the oneness, nirvana, all those wonderful things. And we can catch the wave in that direction right now if we so choose. Remember that every card, every message, every story has a choice. And I'm seeing a very real choice. Unfortunately, I think some people are going to be stuck here, and that will not have positive results. I think it's an important phase to go through. It's an important realization to have, but it is ultimately not going to be nourishing anything. In fact, it actually has quite the opposite effect, right? Because we have this kind of dead tree. It's very dark and, dead. Everything is fallen off the trees. And, it's kind of a more winter phase. But all the other cards are suggesting, new birth, new growth, new directions, all that kind of thing. So there's a lot of positive effects that can take place. Tick-tock. Quality of time coming through, a reminder that time is of the essence. And the more you dwell here, the more you prolong the benefits and the bounty of the Ten of Cups. Remember that acting now, doing now, speaking now, meditating now is the best thing for you to be doing. Okay? The lizard spirit, dream the world into being. A lot of big energy coming out, right? Third eye, using that imagination, using that high level perspective. The lizard spirit is fully balanced on 2 blades of grass. Scaling the blades of grass for a better perspective. You have to dream big. You have to dream for the impossible right now. This is heavy, guys. It really is. So it can feel like you are entertaining stupid things if you start dreaming for the impossible, if you start dreaming for that dream life and that dream scenario. You honestly can feel like it's stupid, and you can put yourself down for that. It's so important that you don't put yourself down for dreaming things that might seem, from your perspective in this moment, impossible. Okay? Because if you immediately go into that narrative, remember how strong your energy is. That is exactly what you'll manifest. The impossibility of that dream. Belief is so important. Belief that you can, belief that you are. Okay? Okay, do I believe? Well, there's that word, right? Do I believe I am worthy? Do you believe you're worthy of the ultimate dream, of the 10 of Cups? Do you believe that you are worthy of the family and the life and the money and the business and the success and you know? And that's a lot of times such a big hiccup that humans have, you know? You're not worthy, you're not good enough, But ultimately, all that is a change of mindset, you know? You are worthy, you are deserving, you are loved. Start seeing the divine beauty within you and go out and claim the life you have dreamt up. Your crown has been bought and paid for. Put it on your head and wear it. Maya Angelou, how beautiful is that, right? It's already bought and paid for. You just have to put it on. The crown. She even has a crown on her head there as the Queen of Cups. So to step into that seat, to step into that feeling of deserving, as we see with that root chakra there, or I'm sorry, that solar plexus, that's where the sense of deserving really comes from. So maybe some of you need to work on your, you know, maybe you're having, like, I don't know about you guys, but just with everything that's been going on, I've been waking up with knots in my stomach. So I've been trying to run energy as much as possible, just to kind of balance myself out. But maybe you're the same, right? Solar plexus. Maybe you are also feeling a lot of tension in your stomach, and that can get blocked, and that can also, you know, really hinder this feeling of worthiness. Last but not least, resilience. Rise above tribulations. Rise above your 3 of Swords, right? The 3 of Swords does not define you. It does not mean that you have to be where you are forever. Remember timing. As time evolves, as the clock ticks forward in our perspective, linear time, things will change, things will evolve. So this is a message of breaking through, of course, to breach. It's kind of a weird word. I don't know that I would use that word. But I guess ultimately that is what it is. So that's where we are. That's where you are. To be resilient. And resilience is a choice. Resilience is an option. The only negative card is here. The only card that may suggest a difficult month or a difficult week is right here. But 3 of Swords, while it can be experienced It does not need to become a part of the everyday narrative. Okay? All right, you guys, I'm going to leave you with that. I love you. I hope you have an amazing week. And we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, pile number 2. You guys selected the Labradorite. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and see what these cards have to say. 10 of coins. 9 of cups. 8 of coins in the center, and 6 of cups and 8 of swords. Okay, so I always kind of like to look in the center here with this 8 of cups energy, 8 of coins. There is an element of productivity with that card. Things coming into the material realm from the spiritual, right? From ideas and concepts and desires into something that you can actually work with, into the having part of things. There is a quality of productivity. There's a quality of getting things done, accomplishments, ideas, strategy, actually being acted out. Now, the 10 of coins and the 9 of cups work very well together because they both signify abundance and gratitude and, overall, overall, wow, that was a real tickle in my throat. Just overall wealth in general, overall prosperity. And I use wealth because you can define that however you need to for you in your own life, what wealth and abundance and prosperity truly means. There is a quality of family. This also came out in pile number 1 as well. Being with your actual family or the family that you've created, through your friends or your communities, being all inclusive, working together and, working to really leave a legacy. I have a feeling that the future is very much on your mind right now. Actually, this reading is actually really mirroring pile number 1 as well, which is kind of interesting. Here we have this 8 of swords, which is kind of a feeling of, being very restricted. There's nothing you can do, feeling helpless, feeling tied up. And yet all of these other cards suggest otherwise. This is a choice here, okay, to feel or to perceive yourself as being bound or being restricted. But the reality is that freedom here with the 9 of cups, with this, brilliant light exuding from her chest, is a choice and it's a state of mind. And if you're battling between the two, the sort of saving grace or the way to really get to this feeling of being bound less is 8 of coins. It's through actual action. It's through actually doing things, making a checklist of things that need to be accomplished and then actually accomplishing them, because there's this quality of dreaming. We have kind of the past with the child and the puppy, and we have the present with the 6 of cups. There's this trajectory that's happening. And in a way, it's almost as though you need to think of yourself today as a version of past self so that you can progress into a future self that sets well with you, right? Like, who do you ultimately want to be? How do you want your life to be? And acting in accordance with that so that you can keep that trajectory truly on par. I do think that this is a week where, especially with Mars coming conjunct with Neptune, getting closer and closer, the belief is so important. Belief that it's possible, belief that you can, belief that you deserve it, belief that you are worthy, all these wonderful things. It's important that you have that state of mind because there is this, quality of future projection. How do you want the future to look? What is your true legacy here, right? 10 of coins is often, generational wealth, generational DNA, generational circumstances. So when you're thinking about your children and your children's children, what actions need to be taken today in order to allow space for their prosperity as well. And when you start taking steps in that regard, you actually start finding that freedom within yourself. So consideration for generations is important. Consideration of your mindset, consideration of your psychological state, consideration of your actions, right? All of those things go hand in hand. And it's the choice to not perceive this restriction, right? Because she's just sitting here in front of a mirror. And we know that the swords represent our mental states or our thoughts. But she's not really tied up. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but she's not bound. She's just merely perceiving that in the mirror. So it's important to challenge your perspective, to challenge the way you're seeing it, and to challenge the actions that are being taken for the sake of the greater good, because this not only doesn't serve you, but it doesn't serve anybody else either, right? It doesn't serve your family, it doesn't serve your significant other, it doesn't serve your workplace. And you have to be careful with this kind of stuff as well, because you can actually, manifest more kind of issues when ultimately this whole reading is about freedom from those, freedom from the bounds, from the things that bind you, if you will. There's a lot of self-accountability with the Nine of Cups. Self-accountability for your own individual kind of state of being, your own energy, because there's no one else in this card, right? Even in the Eight of Cups, there's no one, I keep saying that, Eight of Coins. Maybe the Eight of Cups is an important thing. It's not coming out here, but I keep accidentally saying it. And the image of the Eight of Coins is usually about walking away, right? Leaving something behind, offering forgiveness, offering compassion, but also moving on. And maybe that's a message that you guys might find applicable, just since I keep accidentally saying it. But, even the Eight of Coins is a card of self-accountability, because you are the only one here that can do the work. You're the only one that can, work on yourself and have your own achievements. You know what I mean? And your self-accountability is very important for, the legacy, the way that the people that you touch other people, and they touch so many people, and it just goes on and on and on and on. So the self-accountability for your vibration, very strong right now. See, partnerships and alliances. Partnerships and alliances are only as strong as the individuals, okay? And I think you are becoming so strong, which is so beautiful, because that's really what 2018, 2019 were really all about. It was truly about becoming strong. It was about working together. It was about finding the right people, finding the right romantic partners, finding the right friends for the sake of your own soul's evolution. I know that when you are feeling, maybe down or feeling bound or incapable or whatever it is, there are people who can lift you up in the same way that you have lifted others up as well. While there is a strong message of doing things for yourself, there is also an equally strong message of working together, okay? 10 of Coins and partnerships and alliances for the sake of accelerated motion. Now, with the stuff in Capricorn, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto retrograding Capricorn, we've got Mars who's in Pisces right now. This might feel like it's not really happening. And I've been saying it throughout the pandemic, right? That a lot is happening in the metaphysical realm. But now is a time when it's kind of traversing that bridge, right, from the metaphysical into the physical, which is what the Eight of Coins is really all about. And because of this, crossing of the bridge, you will start seeing things happen quite quickly for yourself with your goals and with your ambitions, which is actually really quite welcome, because I think we've been in this strange hiatus for, just a really long time. We have this ocean card, ebb and flow. which we do know that's kind of the story of life. That's how it works. There are points of tension and there are points of ease. I'm not sure exactly where you are. The cards are suggesting a flow, but you may be perceiving an ebb. So if you're kind of, it might be beneficial to get some third-party perspectives on your choices, your life, your ideas, your strategy, for the sake of like, okay, well, maybe I'm not in an ebb. Maybe I just think I am. Maybe I'm not in a place where things are so hard and so terrible. Maybe I just think that, and that's why it feels this way. Because with these beautiful cards, to me, an accelerated motion and partnerships and alliances, this is an opportunity for you to really progress forward. So there's a lot of beautiful things. The tide is coming in. There's, a message of flourishing here. There's power here. Okay. And I even love just the ocean. When I was in Barbados last year, I never really connected with the ocean before in my life. But when I was in Barbados, I'd go to the ocean every day, and I just was like, wow, the ocean is without a doubt the most powerful metaphor for how all things in the universe works, right? Like it really, really is. And I started to, kind of seeped into my bones how this metaphor is just so powerful. And it can be used as a learning tool, just how the tides come in, how the waves come in, the currents, just everything is all embodied in this ocean that we have on our planet. Bring it into, there you go, right? Bring it into form from the metaphysical into the physical. And that's exactly what I was saying. It's a good opportunity for the having, it's a good opportunity for being able to see it, to touch it, to taste it, to feel it, and actually be able to hold it in your hands, whether it is a new relationship, a new job, a new business, the financials, whatever it is. Now is an excellent time. And the accelerated motion card here is going to really help with that. Growth, waxing crescent moon, growth. Yes, absolutely. It's a flow. So growth happens. There's always this, like in the ebb state is where we percolate. It's where we learn. It's where we do the shadow work. It's where we, go deep and do deep understanding. And then the flow is really what pushes us forward in the world. So we have this growth with the ebb and flow. I am feeling a push forward. I'm feeling big steps forward for you, actually. And protection. Okay, I'm interpreting this as you are being protected, whether it's by your guides, your angels, whether it's by other people, you're being protected. And the changes that you seek are materializing, and the actions that you're taking now are extremely beneficial. Okay, like I say, it's this past future trajectory that we're on. And if you think of yourself today as a past self, rather than even a present self, you can play with your perspective on that a little bit. Even your future self is protecting you as well. Okay? Illuminate the shadow, focus on a solution. Yes, so in terms of the Eight of Swords, there must be some shadow stuff going on. We definitely have shadow and light being highlighted here, so the duality is coming out full force. Focus on a solution. Focus on ideas. Focus on strategy. Ask yourself, well, what can I do? Now, you guys know that I don't always preach about this, because I do believe that we need to let the universe take the lead more often than not. We need to let the universe do the heavy lifting. But there comes a time when we actually do need to put in the effort. And I think right now, this is a time where you're needing to meet the universe halfway, or at least align or attune your frequency to being open and receptive to receiving solutions and ideas for yourself. And then we have a card, peace. Beautiful. And this is an internal state of peace, and just ultimately having your external world be at peace. Now, I know the world is, especially the United States, is a little crazy right now, so this might feel like an impossibility, but it is important for for you, again, to believe in the big stuff. It's important for all of us to believe in the things that seem conceptually impossible, because when we're saying it's impossible, well, then we manifest the impossibility of that solution. So we need to keep our mind focused on peace, on freedom, on love, on goodness. That's really where it needs to be, because there's much more of that in the reading than there is of this, right? We've got 4 versus 1. So there's much more of this that needs to, that we can harvest and that we can manifest. And we have the dog spirit. Be loyal to what you love. Be loyal to your path. Be loyal to your dreams. Be loyal to your people. Be loyal to your family. Be loyal to those that protect you. Right? The ones that are there for you. Because this is like really like the dog, right? The man's best friend. And we even have a dog coming through here. I'm seeing if we have a dog anywhere else. I don't think we do. But we know that dog spirit, right? D-O-G, flip it around, G-O-D. There's definitely a God spirit coming through for you here. Be loyal to the goodness, be loyal to the kindness, be loyal to the positive action, be loyal to the strategy, be loyal to the idea, be loyal to the future. Okay, now we have, what can I do to make a difference? What keeps you up at night? What makes you cringe when you think about it, such that every ounce of you screams no more? Where can you create purpose out of your pain? Right? This says, make a difference in someone's life today, big or small, because all of it makes a difference. That's especially relevant today, like in this moment of reading this, given the current events. It's especially relevant today, but it also applies at any moment as well. Again, I keep coming back to this dog, right? Into this 6 of Cups. We have like the difference that they each made for each other. The way a dog makes a difference for a human and a human makes a difference for a dog. There's love, there's compassion, there's togetherness, there's solidarity here, and absolute loyalty, right? Now, the dog doesn't have to be an actual animal, right? It can be your ideas, it can be your partners, it can be the people that you're growing with, the people that you are evolving with. And the constant and consistent differences that we make. Okay? Partnerships and alliances, absolutely. But also, don't forget the self-reliance part of it, because an alliance is only as strong as the weakest partner. So it is important for you to not be a weak link. It's important for you not to be the soft spot. All right. And then we have celebration, let go and have fun. Let's not forget there are a lot of good things in life, right? There are a lot of good things to be appreciative of. And I think with the pandemic too, like it's been hard for a lot of people, but if you're into energy and if you've been into magic, there's also, a lot of growth that has happened during this time, and for that you can be appreciative. For that and the development of 2020 you can be appreciative of. So it is time for you to maybe let yourself go, create some freedom for yourself for the sake of creating and manifesting more joy and happiness and peace, not only for yourself but for others as well, for your partners and your, those with whom you are loyal. So I think that's a really great way to end the reading with that, let go and have fun. Even if there's some serious stuff going on, it's okay to find the joy in the serious thing. It's okay to find the joy in the growth process. Okay? While there's shadows, the shadow comes out for the sake of solution, right? Focus on a solution. So celebrate in the fact that solutions are coming for you, that ideas and plans will be executed, and for that you can celebrate. Okay? All right, pile number 2. Thank you so much. I love you. I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Okay, pile number 3. You guys selected the clear quartz. Let's go ahead here and take a look. Page of Wands, Page of Cups, Six of Swords, King of Coins, and Seven of Swords. Okay. Well, in the very center with the Six of Swords, there does seem to be evolution and movement happening. Although it might not be the brightest day either. Sometimes change kind of happens quietly, that we're kind of blind to it a little bit. And yet it is still occurring nonetheless. These crows are definitely pulling you to shore and ensuring some kind of a safe landing for you. The pages, Page of Wands, Page of Cups, definitely indicate, I don't know whether it's communication with people, feelings coming up, desires for you to communicate with others, potential for a lot of exchange is what I'm hearing. Exchange of ideas, exchange of, apologies, whatever it is. And I think you have enough is what I'm hearing. You have enough to do what you're needing or wanting to do, King of Coins. And when you start operating as though you have enough, wonderful things can really start taking shape. The King of Coins is very magical because he's very slow and he has so much faith in the process and so much faith in, like, when you need it, it will come, that he actually accomplishes a lot more very quickly than we realize. It's slow and it's quiet, and yet it's powerful. And I do feel a quality of self-reliance coming out. This is a card of Taurus, meaning while there are people around you, there's definitely a lot that you need to do on your own. You need to be able to, take care of certain things, to communicate to certain people. You need to step up to the plate in some kind of way. And yet the people that you need to get you to where you need to be will absolutely, show up for you, as indicated with the pages. And it's okay for you to act as if these people, these opportunities already exist, because when you do that, they will come into existence. Now, it's so funny. All 3 readings have had like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cards. And then the last card in the 5-card spread has been kind of a challenging one. Seven of Swords now is what I always call my card of self-doubt, my card of maybe even self-sabotage a little bit, where one might get trapped, whether it's through the voices of other people, right? Definitely the Seven of Swords is very noisy, and there can be a lot of noise coming from external sources. And there can also be a lot of noise coming from internal sources, right? Your own mind as well. All arrows point to you having everything you need. Like I say, you have enough to do what you need to do. Even if you perceive that you don't worry, because they will show up on your doorstep here in the right divine timing, right? Like I say, there's still movement forward. And you will land safely on the shore. So you can have faith in the guidance. You can have faith in the day-to-day. There's not a lot of future knowing coming out here. It's not like, you're able to project so far into the future for yourself right now. I think a lot of that has to do with Mars and Neptune. So the only thing you can do is based on the information and the resources that you have today. And when you do that, the universe will breadcrumb you just one little piece at a time, but it will get you there. But if you're all in your head, or if you have people around you who have, kind of negative voices, if you can open your ears, if you can, really listen to what's really going on, not what people are saying, not what you're saying to yourself, but what's really going on, that will actually empower you. And there might be some people in your near circle that you just are really going to need to separate yourself from. Maybe there's too much negativity. Maybe there's too much of like, oh, it's impossible. You can't do that. The thing I love about this Page of Cups is there's like an actual pig with wings, right? So it's like when pigs fly. And sometimes you need to like say, well, maybe pigs can fly. Maybe we can dream the impossible, right? Mars and Pisces with Neptune. It's okay to believe, which is the motto of Pisces. To believe that it's possible is such an important part of manifestation. To believe that you can, to believe that you are worthy. And when people start saying it's not, or you can't, or it will never change, or it will never be what you want it to be, those are the people that you need to stop listening to, because they will absolutely put a halt on your journey. They'll absolutely put a halt on your path. Okay. And we have power, beautiful. Especially I like the wolf and the lion. We kind of have like the top of the food chain kind of animals coming out here. And we have the sacrifice card. And there might need to be a sacrifice of an old way of thinking, a sacrifice of a circle of friends, a sacrifice of, a pattern that's been normalized. And in the face of this, it are the choices that we make when we are faced with this that determine how powerful we really are. Are we going to stand up for what we know? Are we going to take that self-accountability and make the changes from within? Or are we going to continue to rely upon the external world for certain things? Are we going to allow the external world to dictate what we should think and what we should feel? Because a lion definitely doesn't care what anyone thinks. A lion who is empowered, by the way, this is a number 8, which of course is a number of prosperity, right? And good luck and good fortune. Plus we also have 1 plus 2, right? Number 12 is a 3, which is ruled by Jupiter, which is about abundance and expansion and magnification and spirituality. So to me, when I look at these cards, I see absolutely no limits except yourself. And the external world will continue to try to limit you, but the choice is yours whether or not you're going to let it. Okay, now I don't see fighting energy here. What I see is empowerment from within. All right, so the very first card, well, sorry, not the first card, but the first of the second row is cave or sanctuary. You, as your own individual, as a person, you as your own sanctuary, but also ensuring that your space is sacred. Your home is sacred. Your bedroom, your kitchen, like the places that you are need to have some element of sanctuary with them. Needs to be a place that you can go to thrive, power, to find your power. Pay attention to your cave. Pay attention to your home. Pay attention to the places of safety in your life. Pay attention to the energy that they provide you in this world. Okay, because your power kind of is reliant here on that. Power of attraction. Okay, that's a big one. Obviously, we all know about the law of attraction. Okay, sorry, I had to just make sure that the cards weren't cut off. But yeah, we know about the law of attraction. We know about our frequency and how our energy and emotions and our thoughts, manifest in a specific way. I think it's time for you to have a very real talk with yourself. And that's kind of what I'm seeing with the Six of Swords. I'm actually kind of seeing a little bit of a battle of the same birds here. We've got 3 birds. We've got 3 birds towing ahead here. On one hand, they are your adversary, and then on the other hand, they are your guides. And I'm feeling like it's just a matter of flipping the narrative. It seems to be simple in theory, but to be able to flip the narrative from one of noise and jabbering to one of wisdom. When you look behind the noise to find the wisdom, you then begin to attract, like I say, the things and the people that you need, which I think are what the Page of Wands and Page of Cups really is. It's, it's the job opportunity, it's the right friends, it's the people of the right mind, people who match your awareness here. But you're in command. You're the one who's in the driver's seat, who is kind of like commanding these to come into your life. That's the real power. Knowing that at any moment when you need something, that your faith, if powerful enough, can bring it to you. He's sitting down, he's relaxed, he's not exerting any effort. He's just there. So, you can use the power of attraction at any moment. Now we have the 2 moon cards. We have assessing and we have action. Assessing, thinking things through, analyzing, strategizing, and action, but only when action is truly required. This is not about chaotic movement. It's not about, King of Coins is very structured. He's very steady. Like I say, he's very relaxed. The actions that he takes are 100% purposeful. There's no extraneous exertion of effort here with the King of Coins. He's not going to get up off of this couch unless it means something. So to know what actions mean something, assess before you act in order for the true success or the true victory to be had. And there is victory here, as we see with power and power of attraction. Spiritual evolution. Oh, did I say? I always say that with my 6 of Swords. I don't think I said it, but that's my spiritual evolution card. That's what that card means to me, is that your soul ascends and it evolves, like clockwork, like it just happens with life experiences. And it is time for your heart to be free. It is time for your mind to be free. Also, 3 + 5 is an 8 as well. Right? We just talked about that. Prosperity, expansion, and abundance. Your consciousness is expanding. Only if you allow it, though. 7 of Swords is kind of like that caveat, that wrench in the spokes here. Like, it's all here. It's all like everything is available to you only if you want it. And if you entertain this loud noise, all of this gets washed away in the noise. It'll still be accessible to you at any time, but you might as well have it be accessible to you now. Building blocks. Yes, exactly. Especially with the King of Coins. That's exactly what, 2020 is all about. It's a number 4 year. A year. I've been saying it all year. I'm going to keep saying it. It's about the ugly hole in the ground, pouring the cement, laying the plumbing, getting the electrical going. Like, it's not pretty right now, but it will get there. As long as you see it as an opportunity for building blocks, as you see it as an opportunity for laying the foundation, for something upon which you can build something strong and, as high as you want it to go. In order to have a tall building, you need to go really deep into the ground. And I think that's what's happening right now, is we're going really deep into the ground, really deep into the shadow, really deep into the roots in order for the tree to really grow, to have the stability that it needs. And sometimes it's hard to, it can be a tough pill to swallow sometimes to realize just how much needs to be done. Take the lead. Power with a lion, a wolf, a stag, take the lead. You are a leader, not only for yourself, but for others as well. I think there are others who are willing to follow you. But you have to take the lead, right? There's a verb there. You have to take it. You have to reach out and grab it. And you have to have the self-belief. You have to have the self-worth to do that. To be fearless. Am I getting enough rest to restore my energy and fully show up to my life? King of Coins is, like I say, it's not like there's action, but it's not a lot of effort. So you need to make sure that you are getting enough rest. And this is a time frame for you to do that. And you may be feeling this Mars coming up on Neptune where like, oh my God, it can feel like you're just completely drained. But yes, get rest as much as you can. Pisces is all about sleeping. So yes, sleep in, take naps. That is okay during this time. All right, what else does it say? This body is your vehicle. Notice how your body is feeling, how much, there you go, how much sleep you're getting, and what you can do to help your body rest. Today's mantra, the more I give myself permission to rest, the more I can contribute. And the more meaningful your actions will be. Children, know that your children are protected. Well, I think this is kind of a divinely inspired card, a card that's actually coming from your angels, your spirit guides, especially if you actually have children, to know that the actions that you're taking now is for the benefit, is for the good of your legacy. And as all members of, the people who are alive today, like all 8 million of us, the actions that we're taking toward the good are actually, benefiting our children. And it is important for us to think of ourselves as a link in a lineage, as a link in ancestry. Even if you don't have kids, that's okay. There's still a legacy that you leave behind with the contacts that you make and the interactions that you have. And that the interactions that you have are also your children, and the businesses you grow are your children, and the acts of kindness are your children. And those seem to be being looked upon and blessed in a very powerful way. There is nothing meaningless here. Okay? It's going to be a big week. There's a lot going on. The eclipses are building. Mars and Neptune is building. Mercury retrograde is building. Not quite there to the Mercury retrograde yet. We still have the sun connecting with Venus. We've got the sun still in Gemini. We still have Venus retrograde. So there's definitely a lot in motion right now. So this is definitely going to be an ongoing story. But for now, I'm going to leave you with that. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing week. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for everything you are, for being the light that you truly are. And we'll see you next week. Take care. Okay, pile number 4. You guys selected the Smoky Quartz, always one of my personal favorites. So let's go ahead here and take a look at what comes out. Okay, we've got Judgment, Death and Rebirth, 5 of Wands, 6 of Wands, and the Magician. Okay, well, these are really powerful cards. Almost kind of out of body, right? We have this astral projection happening here. Your awareness is really, really going to help you this week. Maybe you're dealing with some kind of conflict. I know what's going on in the world or in the United States right now anyway. But this might be happening because of the national stuff, or it might be happening because of your own personal stuff too. There might be some kind of tension or aggravation. There might be just some irritability in general as we build up to the eclipse, as we build up to Mars conjunct Neptune, as we build up to a Mercury retrograde. There's depth. By the way, there's depth with this Mercury retrograde and eclipse. I mean, this is going to be coming out from the darkest corners of your soul, right? Death and rebirth. It doesn't get any deeper than that. And it's important to allow that stuff out. It's important to let it come out of you, to surface. And irritability, it's okay. Agitation, it's okay. Anger, whatever. Five of Wands can be a very competitive energy. It can feel like you're trying to get somewhere, right? And also feeling like you're getting nowhere at the same time, which of course can be frustrating. So that's why consciousness and awareness is going to really be your best friend. If you can step aside from yourself, take a breath, take a beat, and really ask yourself, why things are surfacing, why things are happening, not for the sake of pummeling it to death or finding justifications or rationalizations, but specifically for the sake of healing. You'll absolutely, there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to be confronting your shadow at some point in the near future, if not already. And you're going to have to stand by it, right? Stand side by side with it and become one with it. Now, of course, we have the Six of Wands, which is a card of victory, which is great because it does mean that you will victoriously emerge from this process. And it will be something worth celebrating. Now, the fact that we have the Magician coming through here tells me that because you are working to evolve, because you are stepping into the role of creator within your life, that is a part of the reason why this stuff must come out. It's a part of the reason why this stuff must resolve itself, why it must go through a death rebirth process. Because you're creating space. So it's important to link the two things together. That whatever events are happening because you are hoping for something, or you are working, or you are energetically attuned to something, and it simply doesn't match. Something has to give. Something has to be, right? Death. It needs to be put out, if you will. So it's a behavioral pattern. It's a trauma. It's a mental blockage that you have. It's a relationship that you have, something like that. It has to be in the past, or it has to evolve, or it has to completely transform. Because you are working your magic, and you are going to be successful in that magic. The agitation, the frustration, the arguments, the whatever are an essential part of the growth. They're an essential part of getting you. See, I love how this guy is like reaching up toward the fire, right? There's a climb up, but the climb up is kind of like a little bit of a jungle gym. So you got to kind of find your way a little bit. It's not fatal. Five of Wands is not one of the worst cards to get, right? There's a lot of learning that can be had, working together to be had, communicating with one another to be had. It can be stressful, but it is always ultimately successful. As we see the succession from 5 to 6, you will always emerge victoriously. That is without question. So, massive transformation for you guys this week. Okay, we have emotional withdrawal and we have solitude. Interesting how the solitude image and the Magician image are almost similar in nature. Of course, an individual person alone. And this is the consciousness, usually within consciousness and through emotional withdrawal. Now, with emotional withdrawal, what I don't see with this card is like any negative, disassociation or detachment or anything like that. But it is the awareness of the emotion. And it is withdrawing yourself, disconnecting yourself from the emotion that you feel. To be able to feel the emotion and to not be entirely succumbed or not be entirely victim of the emotion, but to act in accordance with what that emotion really means. Because here's that stuff surfacing, right? It's coming to light. You are having some kind of an epiphany, if you will. So yes, there will be a lot of emotions that surface for you. And to know that you are not your emotion, that you are something different from it, that you are the thing that experiences the emotion is going to be an important perspective. And you might need to separate yourself a little bit from people in order to really understand that, in order to work with that a little bit, because it's not easy. It's not something most people do. This is a story of someone coming into greater wisdom within themselves because of something pretty intense, right? Death, rebirth, and 5 of Wands. Because of an epiphany that you have. Oh, you know what? I'm trying to remember how I've been laying these out. Like this. The lotus flower, the unfoldment, which I really like with solitude as well, because that's what I always describe life as, right? I always describe life as being the infinitely blossoming rose, is what I always say. And we're always, revealing new layers, old layers falling off, new layers pushing through from the inside out, always growing. And there is an unfoldment happening with death, rebirth, and judgment coming out side by side like this. So it's an exciting time. Inner trust. You are going to have inner trust. You're going to have to be able to trust yourself as well as your process. You're going to be able to have to trust your heart. And sometimes you need solitude in order to be able to really listen to it. You're going to need solitude and inner trust to understand that this death, rebirth, and 5 of Wands was something that had to happen in order to create space for the very thing that you are hoping to manifest. So this, whatever kind of chaotic situation or stressful or highly emotional situation, is symptomatic of deeper change coming through, as we see with the Magician. Interesting how all these 3 kind of look the same, right? Even kind of similar to this, like with the hood, the head down. It's all very kind of stoic, and I don't know if y'all can really see that or really tell. Hopefully there's not a glare on the card. But it just kind of is the same. There's this wise vibe coming through. And we have the path, and we have gratitude, which we know that gratitude is the most important frequency to engage with. We know that gratitude is the frequency through which all can be accomplished. And we know that you're on a path and that somehow your destiny is being fulfilled. See, the thing with these energies is I don't know that you're necessarily having to push. It's just simply happening. You're changing, your people are changing, your circles are changing, your mind is changing, your heart is changing, and there's nothing you can really do to stop it. Honestly, I feel like you've caught kind of an avalanche and you're kind of on the very swift movement downhill here. And it's a force much, much more powerful than you, but it is your destiny, if you will. It is where you're supposed to be. I hope that none of you question where you're supposed to be, that none of you question the changes that are needing to be made, that none of you are questioning your own evolution at this time. I've been saying it over and over, and I will continue to say it for the rest of the year. This is a foundational year. It is not pretty. It is about digging the hole as deep as you need and pouring the foundation as deep as you need so that you can build something more sturdy in the years to come. And it is getting kind of ugly, right? It's not the prettiest year we've had. It's probably one of the craziest years of any of our lifetimes. So that's where we're at as a humanity and as individuals too. So when we let this process happen, when we let the ascension happen, we then emerge victoriously. Now we have secret temptation, being led astray. This is when your inner trust becomes so important. Look, there is a lot of deception out there, right? We've got Mars conjunct Neptune. Boom, Pisces. I don't know what other information we need here. There's a lot of things that will be coming to light in the weeks to come. We've got the eclipses going on. We've got the North Node and South Node in two of the most destructive nakshatras, right? According to Vedic astrology, in Mula and Ardra in Sagittarius and Gemini. So these are incredibly potent nakshatras. And when the North and South Node enter into these nakshatras, it is common or almost like clockwork to have chaos in the world. So it's also important to have faith that it will subside the way it always does, and that evolution did occur, okay? But you need to be so careful that you're listening to yourself, because right now, there is kind of a darkness or a deception with Neptune. There is an illusionary, deceptive kind of thing. So whether it's an individual in your life, be careful of who you believe, be careful of what you listen to, be careful of what you take at face value, because it's very likely not in your best interest. It's very likely going against your inner trust. This seems to be a little bit of a battle between light and dark here. And they're both necessary. They're both needed. They both give meaning to one another. So neither should be praised or condemned, okay? But the shadow work is very important, and you will have an opportunity to do that for the sake of your path by the book. There seems to be some pretty standard decisions, things that are logical, things that make sense. When you start connecting the dots, the way these elephants are kind of holding each other by the tail, right? Trunk to tail, trunk to tail. They are connected. There is a quality of lineage here. There is a very, very Gemini-like connecting of the dots going on. So logic is important for you. Being able to use your logic, being able to use your rationale, rather than making, hyper emotional decisions. I see calm, I see cool, I see collected. When you find yourself getting heated, when you find yourself reaching for chaotic states of mind, that is a reminder to, hey, take a breath, take a beat, take a step back, emotionally withdrawal. I know I'm kind of twisting that meaning just a little bit, but I think it's an important distinction to make, right? It's not about completely cutting everybody off so much that it is withdrawing from your emotions. That's how I'm interpreting it, okay? Other weeks I may interpret it differently, but for now that's what I'm saying. For the sake of understanding why and where they're coming from, so that you do not act on them in a way that is irrational and therefore destructive. Okay, rational is important. Stoicism is important. Calm, cool, collected, super important. Wolf spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. Okay, well, with solitude coming out, this is kind of like a hermit card. So is this one. So is kind of even this one a little bit. Knowledge is great, but wisdom is greater. Wisdom is the action. Wisdom are the steps that we take in knowledge, okay? So it is important to, I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm kind of losing my train of thought because I'm just repeating myself now, to be wise. Let's just say that. It's important to just be wise, okay? Now, this next one, where can I ask for more help in my life? Especially when you've got a death, rebirth, and a 5 of Wands and a judgment, it's very likely that you will need assistance from others. Until we can receive with an open heart, we're never really giving with an open heart. When we attach judgment to receiving help, we knowingly or unknowingly attach judgment to giving help, from Brene Brown. So if you're needing help, right, today's mantra is, I ask for what I want and I am open to receiving it. Super important. And I have a feeling we all have a place in our life where we can ask for more help. So when it comes to your transformation, when it comes to your change and your temptation to withdraw, right? Even the darkness of this smoky quartz here, it is very of the shadow, right? But it is also a very grounding and earthy energy as well. This black color, it's the beautiful color of creation. It's the beautiful color of all of creation from the mother of the universe, right? This is definitely a feminine in nature, very creative, and also very grounding and very nurturing. So if you need help, ask for it. There's humility with this color, right? With the black, with the smoky. There's definitely humility here. There's definitely a willingness to learn. Okay? And then the last card is knowledge. Seek knowledge. Okay, so you guys are in education mode, hyper education mode. Turn knowledge into wisdom and seek knowledge and ask for help. To me, this is like someone, a kid who's in school who needs help with his math problem. Like, don't be afraid to ask your teacher. Don't be afraid to ask your neighbors, your mentors, your guides, your spirits, ask. Because sometimes this death and rebirth can be a little too much for one person to handle. Sometimes it can be too much. Sometimes this unfoldment can feel unbearable. Not always, doesn't have to, but sometimes it can. So if that's how you're feeling, if that's how you're experiencing it, then ask. And it allows someone to bear that load with you, to help you, and to teach you. Because the reason of this transformation is because of the things that you are calling upon for yourself. Okay? All right, you guys, beautiful reading for the week. Powerful readings all across the board. It's a big week. A lot is happening. I wish you guys nothing but the best, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.